Hello YouTube, welcome to another ride. Today is a beautiful day and I was having a wonderful ride up until I just passed a field back there. They just finished spreading fresh manure and that was some very potent stuff, so oof. But I'm airing out. I'm a little bit past it now, so getting away from oh, nope, never mind. Here's another bare field. This one might have some fresh stuff on her too. Everybody's getting ready for winter. They take the crops down and put the manure over it. Well, looks like that one's okay, so I can breathe here for a while. Yeah, we might be okay from this point on. I hope so. But anyway, welcome to another ride. Beautiful sunny day. Besides that, wonderful riding weather. It's getting just a little bit cooler as we head into September here. What are we, week into September plus some, and we're starting to get into the 60 and 70 degree days. So in my opinion, that's the perfect. I don't like being cold, but 60 70 degrees is perfect on a bike because it's cold enough where you can still wear, you know, a little layer of protection, but you're not roasting in it. So I really love that. And I do have the Sportster out today. You guys might notice. I don't know if you guys are regular followers, but a couple times ago I talked about some electrical issue showing itself again on this Sportster, which has been the main problem with this thing ever since I got it. It's been different. One of them was the rectifier, and that happened shortly after I bought the bike. This one I purchased brand new. So it was under warranty. Harley has a 2-year warranty that they give you, and then they try to extend you or sell you the extended. I usually work on my own stuff, so I usually don't go for that. But yeah, as long as it's under the factory warranty, I'm not touching it. So I brought that in. They replaced the rectifier. I drove it for another, well, it was right before the warranty was up. And I was having a intermittent, just the motor dying, and that time I kind of expected it to be a short, you know, this thing vibrates so bad, maybe just something came loose. So I'm checking all over the bike. I can't find anything, and I brought it in. They couldn't find anything. It's throwing codes and they're telling me there's nothing wrong with it. So I got into a little bit of a fight over Harley with that one, saying no, it's throwing codes, there's definitely something wrong, fix it. And so finally they dug a little deeper, and I told them if they're not going to fix it, at least my guess was going to be the coil let it crack or something like that. And they said, well, we'll check it over. And they ended up finding a break in the spark plug wire on a really hot day. It was just such a fine break that when it heated up, it would separate. And they said they ended up looking into that because they were having the same problem happen on some of their the M8 touring models. And so immediately I thought, well, great, I got the Road King, so I'm going to be experiencing that pretty soon. I've never experienced it on the Road King, so I don't know if it was just a bad batch of wires or something like that. But yeah, that they narrowed it down to that being the same problem here. And this time when I was doing that, I was like, well, that time I would just lose the rear cylinder. This time the engine would completely die, and for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then start itself. Like I'd be cruising along 60, it just engine dead. And because I was rolling along with the clutch out like this, still in gear, going, well, what's going on now? It just started itself. So I thought, well, it can't be the wires, because how often do you get the bad wires like that? So I started, and it's off warranty now by a few years. So oh boy, this is a pleasant road. This might be one for the KLR, not the Sportster. Give me some plush suspension. But anyway, I went back in, ripping apart everything. It was throwing the code of a coil problem, so I'm looking at all of the everything electrical from the battery to the coil and then afterwards, and I'm finding no loose connections. I'm unplugging, replugging everything in, taking it for a test drive, does it, and then finally I thought, well, just for, you know, shits and giggles, I'm going to check those cables again. So I pull them off and I'm doing the test with the multimeter, and sure enough, the front one this time, I wiggled it just right to where I was not expecting a measure of a corner. Huh. But yeah, I wiggled it just right to where that it cut out all of a sudden, so it was acting goofy. So I thought, well, okay, that does explain, you know, it's a front cylinder. It must have some sort of timing issue or something like that, where the computer's reading the spark or the timing on the front one, and that's what would kill the engine instead of just killing one cylinder. So we'll give it a try. So I ordered new plugs, and not going with Harley OEM, because so far those things have failed on me twice with this bike. And as far as OEM goes, I'm not really a components like that, I'm not really a huge fan of Harley, because I do think on some components they really cheap out. Obviously the rectifier and now the plug wires twice on this, just kind of chick components, and those are ones you can easily just replace with aftermarket, so I did that. I didn't go with the best, I just kind of went with a cheaper pair, just regular drag specialty ones. But, oop, watch my gear. But yeah, to see if that fixed the problem. I've been out a few rides now and have had zero issues, and so I'm thinking that's what it was, bad spark plug wires again. Of course, this time the plugs that were in it were the Harley ones. They didn't look worn, but in case that was a contributing factor, I just threw some NKG spark plugs in there, get some decent one, and ooh, that was a bit of a bump back there. And just to be done with it. And so hopefully now with the Sportster I am done with the electrical issues. Hopefully. I know with the rectifier, this one, it was a common issue with this year. I think they admitted that they had some a bad batch of ones right from their supplier, so they did not see that problem happening with other years. It was mostly 19s from what I'm understanding. But if any of you guys are experiencing that with your Sportster, or if you have an M8, they have 4 spark plugs. So if you notice all of a sudden kind of like a little lag in power all of a sudden, and it comes back on just for a few seconds, I'm guessing that's going to be the same thing, because I imagine only one plug would go out, which wouldn't kill the engine or kill a full cylinder, I don't think, but it might seriously F with the power, or you know, the way it's running. So if you guys notice that, I would definitely take a look at those, go with some decent aftermarket wires, and just be done with that problem as well. Other than that, you know, it's the little Sportster. This bike is all these stereotypical Harley. This bike is it. But I still love it. It's just a tiny little bike that's just fun to take out. And it's not like I'd ever tour across the country on this bike, so I know I should be expecting more out of it, but I'm not, because of what this bike's role is in for my enjoyment. You know, I just take it out on roads like this and just cruise around. It's so light and nimble and tiny that it's fun. You know, it's not a little speed demon or anything, but it is, with the 1200 in this little bike, it gets up and goes plenty good. I mean, I have zero power complaints with this bike. It's not a sport bike by any means, but it is just a fun little tiny around town bike. If you know, knew somebody who only wanted to ride around small town, they lived in town and never really going anywhere, this would be the perfect bike. And I like taking it on these little tiny back roads. Obviously I like little tiny back roads, that's why I got into the KLR, and I want to do more gravel and even rougher, like that really rough back roads. That KLR has been just outstanding on roads like that as well. Just been loving that thing. But yeah, so the little Sporty's back in action, hopefully. Unless, you know, who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and it'll die right here with the camera on, and everything will be caught on video, and then I'll have to go back to the drawing board as far as trying to find that loose connection that I can't seem to find. But no, everything else seemed nice and tight. The battery terminals, because I know that's a weak point on here where everybody's... I've had plenty of people tell me that they've had that problem with these things, where the battery terminals come off, or you know, down to where it's connected into the starter, or other places where it's grounded out. And yeah, those were still nice and snug. This thing's what, 4 years old. I have less than 10,000 miles on it, because it's not a big bike I'm taking on long distance cruises. It's a bunch of short little jaunts, but yeah, to go through the rectifier regulator and 2 sets of plug wires that just failed, not worn out, just failed. That's that's fun. The important thing is I'm not bitter. But yeah, we also are getting into gonna be into harvest season here pretty soon, so you're going to hear me sneezing quite a bit when we get near fields where it's, you know, all getting all the crops out of the field. I'll try and avoid that on camera as much as possible, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I've been taking the KLR out quite a bit, and trying to get as much experience on gravel roads and dirt roads that I can. And I have ordered a set of crash guards for that thing, just because I was out over this last weekend and up north about an hour and a half on this little back road, and everything was awesome. Nice beautiful road going through lakes and stuff. Didn't have the camera on me, just out having a good time. And I was going pretty good. It was a nice solid gravel road, and I came down to a complete soft thick part, and I didn't go down or anything, but you know, I had one hell of a steering handle wiggle, and it started throwing it all over there until I could slow down and kind of get a better stood up and a little bit more control. But yeah, with that that could have easily caught me off guard, and with my experience laid me down. I would, you know, I don't think I was going fast enough to do any major damage to me, but with on that bike with the radiator being right there under the plastic, I definitely want to put some guards on that thing if I'm going to be bringing it out on roads where I might be injuring the poor bike. And yeah, after that one too, I was starting to look at motocross boots. Oh, that's a pretty Bronco. I like those new releases. But yeah, looking at some boots to where I get a little more ankle protection than what I have out of my just normal street riding boots. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go that route. Those things, I don't know. They look uncomfortable as all get out, but I suppose that's not the point. The point is to not break something, because I'm pretty sure that'd be a little bit more uncomfortable. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But if you've made it this far, God bless you. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for listening about the update on the Sportster. If anybody else has had similar problems with the electrics on these Harleys, apparently that was a common problem in the they told me the M8s, but apparently on the Sportster too. So if anybody else had that, comment below. Let me know if you've had anything like that. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. God bless you. And until next time, we'll see you later, YouTube. Have a good one.